Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Minneapolis. Marshall Sutcliffe here in the booth with Randy Buehler, and we are underway in the finals. Andrew Huska with Jund. He's playing against Junyoung Park with Rug Scape Shift, a matchup we did not expect to see in the finals, Randy.
No, the way this story of this tournament for me is that Melirapod was the best deck in the Swiss, and if you wanted to make the top 8 or succeed in the top 8, you had to be able to beat Melirapod. These are the decks that can beat Melirapod, and now we get to find out which of them can win the heads-up matchup. All
right, so we have a quick Inquisition of Kozilek here, revealing the hand of Junyoung Park. We're going to get a chance to look at 2 lands, but he's also got Sakura Tribe Elder. He's got Snapcaster Mage. Is that a Remand in the middle?
I don't know.
Or maybe it's a Telling Time? Can't quite tell. And then I'm assuming that that's an Electrolyze on the back.
Yeah, Andrew Huska's Inquisitions don't do what he really wants them to do in this matchup, which is to get Scape Shift. This one's going to do just fine, though. I mean, Huska's Jund deck is loaded for combo. 3 Thoughtseize, 3 Inquisition in the main deck. I mean, he's definitely trying to knock the cards out of your hand.
So the Thoughtseizes are going to take a much more important role as they can take the key cards away?
The IOKs may actually come out just because they don't hit the key card. Not sure. I don't know that he has enough to bring in to be able to take them out. I mean, because his creature removal spells are completely dead.
Okay.
I mean, so many of the combo decks in this format are creature-based.
Yes.
Right? Kiki-Jikis and Angels and Splinter Twins and whatnot. Andrew's very good against them. You know, Slaughter Pact has done tremendous work.
Sure.
But in this matchup, Huska's main deck it's just full of garbage.
Is that right? I'm starting to think of a lot of cards now in his deck that just don't do anything.
There are actual 0 targets for Abrupt Decay or Slaughter Pact.
Right.
Or Terminate, or Anger of the Gods. I mean, I'm not going to count Sakura Tribe Elder as a target.
We are not counting that.
All right. So
we do know you can target it. We also are not counting it. Randy and I have made an executive decision to not count it. Speaking of Sakura Tribe Elder, that's what gets sacked here to go grab a basic island for Junyoung Park. If he can find the pieces, meaning enough lands on the battlefield plus Scape Shift, he will be undeterred in doing it. He gets to just cast it and resolve it. He's had to play some pretty tricky games leading up to here against Blue, White, Red.
Yeah, this game 1 in particular is going to feel like easy mode, I think.
I think it will too.
Yeah, Junyoung Park is in his 3rd Grand Prix top 8. Top 8 at KL recently and then another top 8 a number of years ago. Andrew Huska making his Grand Prix top 8 debut.
Andrew's from Alberta, Canada, and here's a Thoughtseize, though he's already got a lot of information about Park's hand here. It didn't have a Scape Shift in it last time we saw. Ideal case scenario, he nabs a Scape Shift here, but really it's going to be on Andrew Huska to find some amount of pressure here.
Interesting. So Snapcaster for the Remand.
Okay, no second black mana source currently, but there it is. And that's going to allow Huska to resolve a Tarmogoyf. So we were just talking about pressure, now he has it.
Yep.
Not the biggest Tarmogoyf in the world, but it's a 2/3 and looking to get bigger. Any fetch land or anything like that will bump it up another notch.
Yeah, Huska's deck may be full of garbage, but his draw so far seems just fine.
It does. Also, he still has...
Snapcaster attacks into Tarmogoyf. No fear.
And also no blocks.
Tarmogoyf, right?
Yeah, it is.
There's an Electrolyze in Park's hand that Huska has seen previously, so... Pretty international final for an American Grand Prix.
Yeah, absolutely. I like
Canada versus Korea. Kind of cool.
I think he's got 2 Search for Tomorrows in his hand, does Park. Here's one of them. He's just going to hard cast it.
What's the land now?
Maybe go get a forest here and throw the other one in the old suspend zone here.
That looks like the line. Yeah, Park is essentially stopped off on his way to Pro Tour Atlanta. That's why we've got a couple of Koreans here.
Not a bad stop for Park.
No, that worked out just fine.
This is working out good.
I don't think Huska's qualified for Pro Tour Journey into Nyx. He is now qualified for Pro Tour M15, though.
Right. So Park's up to 5 lands currently. Right now the magic number is 8, as Andrew Huska's managed to keep his life total at the full 20.
Right.
Oh, he's got a land drop for the turn here as well, so if he wanted, he could even just fire off both Search for Tomorrows. I mean, he's under some pressure, but not that much. He's at 18. And he's actually just going to say go here.
He's leaving up Electrolyze so he can cycle for a card.
And here's Thoughtseize. So that's the same Thoughtseize that got
Yeah, I see Search and Electrolyze. He's going to take the Electrolyze. Andrew's been, he wants to take the cantrips. Does not want to let Park dig for Escape Shift.
Andrew just said, I need you to brick.
Pretty much.
That's what he wants.
I mean, Andrew's drawn fully half his discard spells, too.
All right, so now he has real pressure here, yeah.
How big is Tarmogoyf?
I think it's actually
instant
still only a
sorcery.
2. Oh, there's a creature, so 3. Yeah, instant sorcery creature.
Can't beat Escape Shift.
And Andrew says he cannot beat Escape Shift now. And that is true. And June actually has a pretty quick clock on him here, but he does tend to have a lot of ways to dig through his deck to find the piece that he needs.
Yeah, he drew Serum Visions that turn. Yeah, the game is basically, can Jun Young Park find Escape Shift in the next, what, 3 turns?
Yeah, 3, 6, 12, 18, yeah. The 3rd turn kills him. He does have a Snapcaster that can change the math potentially here, though, and chump block once. Andrew Huska's at 16, so he only needs to get to that 7th land, which I think he's already there.
Is there a creature in the graveyard? Because it's land, sorcery, instant.
There's a Sakura Tribelda, right?
Land, sorcery, instant creature.
And now there's a land.
That fetch land actually grows the Tarmogoyfs.
That's right.
So the Tarmogoyfs are 2-turn clock, but Snapcaster's ability to chump block means it was basically 3 either way. I guess there's some chance Jung could have survived 3 attacks with a chump block, but not anymore.
Although I will say, though, that Andrew, we mentioned that he doesn't have that many targets for his removal. Well, he does have Snapcaster Mage, which isn't exactly an ideal target, but it does battle.
Yeah, no, you're right. It could matter tempo-wise here.
I'm not happy to say that, by the way.
There's also Raging Ravines that can add to this clock.
True.
For the record.
Bottom.
All right. So
yeah, Huska just wants
Serum Visions, and he's saying bottom, and they goes top.
Oh, my.
That is very bad news for Andrew Huska.
Huska puts his head in his hands.
Yes, he is devastated at seeing that.
Go ahead.
Land go. No real way for Huska to kill him this turn. He has another Thoughtseize in his hand, though. So if it was Escape Shift exactly that he peeled off of the Serum Visions, he can take it. I think he draws Dark Confidant for the turn, takes 2. Goes to 14. Is he just going to activate? Yeah, he's just going to activate.
No, for right?
So 4, 8, 12.
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
And chump block, take 8, and go to 8.
Go. On top?
He had it. There it is. Escape Shift, and we're done here.
Bottom, man. Bottom.
Andrew's still frustrated that he didn't go bottom.
He's smiling about it, though.
He is. He's got a good spirit.
No, he did what he could do. I mean, for game 1, the way his deck is configured, that was quite a good draw.
It really was.
Multiple discard spells, a pretty aggressive clock, but I mean, he's never killing Park before Park gets to 7 lands.
That's right.
So it's really about, can Park find Escape Shift and fade the Thoughtseizes?
Yep.
Had that Escape Shift right where he wanted it, on top of the library. Way better than having it in his hand.
I was standing over there in the exactly. I was standing over there in the feature match area when the round ended, and Park said, "We meet again." And I think I think they played before, and and Toby said, "Who won when you played before?" And Park said, "I did."
Yeah.
So.
Not surprised. Yeah, this matchup does not look particularly close. Now, sideboarding has to help Andrew Huska.
It must.
Right. He gets a couple runs if he wants them to potentially speed up his clock. Okay. He gets 3 Fulminator Mages,
now that's
which are
interesting.
excellent.
Yes.
Fulminator Mages, I mean, they're Disruption, which that alone can be good, just keeping him down below 7 mana. But I mean, even once he gets to 7 mana, if you can Fulminator Mage to hit one of, like a Steam Vents, hit one of the multi-lands, there have to be 6 mountains in play, both when the Valakut triggers and also when that trigger resolves.
It checks both times.
It checks both times. It doesn't go on the stack unless there's 5 other mountains, and it doesn't resolve unless there's 5 other mountains. Now, killing the Valakut does not help.
It does not.
Does not. I mean, maybe if he just plays the Valakut on turn 3 or something, you can kill it. But it doesn't stop the combo in the middle of the combo.
How many Valakuts does June have?
These decks usually run 2. Yeah, 2 Valakut. 2 times Valakut the Molten.
So if he does get a little sloppy and runs one out there, Andrew can peel it off if he happens to.
Potentially, but I mean, just hitting the mountains is usually going to work out better.
Okay. What else?
Other
does
than that, he has
have?
the 4th Thoughtseize. That's clearly coming in. He has, I think that's the 3rd Liliana, or is it the 4th Liliana? The 4th Liliana will come in, I'm sure.
And that's used to just start plussing and just tearing apart his
exactly,
hand? Okay.
exactly. I mean, at some level, there's a critical mass of cards that Park has to have.
Yeah.
He's got to get, 7 lands in play, Scape Shift in his hand. It's not that many, but, I mean, if Jund can knock enough of them away, then Liliana can actually at least pinch him. So those help. And, I mean, you're taking out cards that are, like we said, effectively blank. Maelstrom Pulse, 2 Slaughter Pacts, 3 Abrupt Decays, a Terminate, 2 Anger the Gods. Right, I haven't even got to the Lightning Bolts yet, which at least maybe speed the clock up. Junyoung Park, I don't know what he has that's super relevant. Spell Skite doesn't really do much. He's got 2 Ancient Grudges that don't do much. He's got 2 Obstinate Balos, which I've seen him siding in pretty consistently.
And against Liliana deck, that's not too bad.
Yeah. But Balos certainly come in there. Could bring in his 1 Batterskull. He's got a couple of Vendilion clicks.
Does Anger of the Gods come in? Does he try to take a more controlling route as far as like controlling the creatures on the board?
It's so unlikely to kill Tarmogoyf.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
he kills
the
Dark
big problem.
Confidant, but I don't think so.
I think he's already got Electrolyzes sort of lined up for those Confidants.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not like he has bad cards in his deck either.
Right.
I mean, his deck does what it does.
Yes.
I mean, they're like all the cards in his deck do basically the thing they were designed to do in this matchup. I mean, maybe Is It Charm is probably the worst card. Is It Charm kills a Dark Confidant, but I mean, it's not like he's got instants you want to counter.
No, it does counter Planeswalkers too, though. You can counter like Chandra's or Liliana's with it if that opportunity comes up.
Yeah, I don't think Junyoung Park sideboards much, but I think even after sideboarding, he's probably still the favorite.
Okay.
And of course, he's up a game.
Right, and he's up a game, so he's a big favorite there. Upcoming webcast schedule. You guys love watching Magic. We love bringing it to you. We're going to be bringing you a lot of it over the next few months. Pro Tour Journey into Nyx is next weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Theros Block Constructed and Booster Draft. It's going to be a fantastic tournament with a really cool format. Grand Prix Atlanta is the next weekend after that. Then we have Grand Prix Manchester another weekend after that. That's Theros Block Constructed. That's sort of the second half of the story for Theros Block Constructed, and then it kind of usually just ends there. Grand Prix Moscow and Chicago are back-to-back weeks, both standard. GP Washington, D.C. and Milan are the same weekend and the same format. So if you like limited like I do, you're going to be sitting there for the entire weekend. You can probably forego sleep for most of it.
You can maybe draft on Magic Online while you watch the pros draft at the GP.
That's what I do.
Same.
Hopefully you'll be able to join us for a lot of those events. But for now, we're going to focus back on Grand Prix Minneapolis here, where we are in the finals, and Junyoung Park is up a game over Andrew Huska here. His friends call him Curly.
Really?
Yes. I was assured that that's the truth.
We're not just being trolled like the Citrus Assassin.
I throw that out there that it might be the case.
So I'm not sure if it's we that were being trolled with Citrus Assassin or Gregory Orange that was being trolled.
You know, if I'm Gregory Orange, I own
You embrace
that.
it? Yeah, I would.
So
too.
cool.
I like it. I like it. Any assassin nickname.
Yeah.
Babyface Assassin, Silent Assassin was Camille back in the day.
But Citrus Assassin. All right, let's see how this matchup changes post-board. Andrew Haska has a lot of ground to make up, being down a game, and also just a lot of dead cards in his deck that he's going to need to make up for from his sideboard. Park is going to do some knob turning here. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was 6 cards. Thumbs up,
But
though.
it's a good 6, so he's going to keep it and kick things off with the Misty Rainforest here. Pass the turn back to Park. Looks like Park has Halimar Depths, among other lands here. And the decisions start very early.
What's he thinking about?
It's
like if you've got Halimar Depths, it's usually coming out on turn 1. I mean, maybe Search for Tomorrow would change your mind.
Was that Engineered Explosives he has there as well?
I think so.
Okay, that seems like it would be pretty good. Lots of 2-drops for Huska.
Fair enough. Huska goes ahead and cracks his fetch land while Park's rearranging from Halimar Depths.
Stomping ground here. Huska does have some ways to unmulligan. Dark Confidant's kind of his main one. He's got to make the decision early in this game, though, if he's going to let himself go to 18 or if he's just going to forego that. He's already
hard
down
to
to
avoid
19.
in this deck.
I think so, huh?
All the fetch lands, 4 Dark Confidants.
Yep. And there's Dark Confidant
Yeah, I don't even
right
think
there.
you think about it.
Okay. He made that decision very early, it seems, and here's Dark Confidant. He's going to pay 2 life, and I think this thing's going to get Is It Charmed right off the battlefield. There it goes. 2 damage to Dark Confidant, and down it goes. Huska's made card advantage engine isn't going to be online early this game, so that's a big play for Park, but Tarmogoyf is the
3/4?
follow-up. 1, 2,
Land creature
3.
instant?
Correct. 3/4. And here's the Sakura Tribe Elder that could soak up a little damage and increase the land count for young Park as he passes the turn back after playing Breeding Pool. Huska on 19 plays his land for the turn. And he's going to attack with the Tarmogoyf, block it, and sacrifice it. So Sakura Tribe Elder doing exactly what it was meant to do in this deck.
Block and get a land.
Rampant Growth, gain 3 life. I like that. So Park is slowly marching up the land count here. He's got it up to 4. But Andrew Huska's tapping 3 mana, so he's got something he wants to play this turn. It could be Liliana.
Not with those lands.
Yeah, he's got a Twilight Mire there.
Oh, Twilight Mire, sure.
Yeah, but it wasn't
But it's
Liliana.
Fulminator Mage.
It was Fulminator Mage, and that's going to take down Breeding Pool, 1 green source for Junior Park. It also takes him potentially off of Cryptic Command mana, though it's interesting that he didn't go for the Stomping Ground there, though.
Well, I mean, he wants raw count here. If he can color screw him, that's great.
Okay.
I mean, the mountains are most relevant when the Scape Shift is resolving. You're trying to get him below 6. For now, though, yeah, I think trying to take him off the double green for Scape Shift. Because the red mana doesn't really cast spells.
No, but Stomping Ground also makes green, so.
That's fair. You make a good point.
Here's a second Stomping Ground, though, for Junior Park, and he's just going to play an Obstinate Baloth hard cast, gain 4 life, and put up a really nice blocker.
He was taking him off Cryptic Command mana is what he was taking him
Yeah,
off.
that's what I was saying, too. And there's Liliana that instead of getting a Baloth into play for free is going to put a Baloth.
Liliana doesn't normally win the fight with Obstinate
No.
Baloth. Obstinate Baloth normally owns Liliana, but not this time.
Not this time. All right, so Tarmogoyf gets into the red zone, drops Young Park back down to 17.
Yeah, the fact that he played Fulminator Mage and not Liliana there may have misled Young Park. Really nice sequencing from Andrew Huska.
I like it, and there's Serum Visions.
Is that bottom?
Yes, and Tarmogoyf now has a sorcery to feast on as well.
Mm-hmm. Another Sakura Tribe Elder.
The second Sakura Tribe Elder is going to soak up even
Yep.
more damage here.
Soak up damage and get a land. That's the plan.
Huska, though, he's got something here. Is it another Dark Confidant, or is it another Tarmogoyf?
I think it's another Fulminator Mage. Maybe both.
I think it might be a Tarmogoyf and a Fulminator Mage.
Yeah.
Block, sack. This is land number 6 now for Park.
Wow.
He would have been at 7 here.
Sure. He can cast the Tarmogoyf, cast the Fulminator Mage, and tick up Liliana with no cards in hand to discard.
Wow.
Quite the turn for Andrew Huska.
Now, he's got to be worried about another Obstinate Baloth, but you got to do it
I
anyway.
mean, what are you going to do? He's
Right.
seen the list. There's only, what, 2 of them?
I think there's 2, yeah. All right, Fulminator Mage. And
Sure.
Steam Vents is going to be the victim of Fulminator Mage. And we have a response, Snapcaster Mage, and he's just going to put it into play. Yeah.
Tarmogoyf,
plus.
discard.
And no cards in hand for Andrew Huska, and that's going to be an island, and every card matters
5
here.
lands?
He's down to 5 thanks to the 2 Fulminator
Right, he's got to get
Mages.
2 lands and then come up with Escape Shift.
And right
It's
now,
hard to do.
double Tarmogoyf on the battlefield, plus he can activate Raging Ravine too.
Yeah.
This clock gets really quick.
He's going to attack Liliana.
And
Yeah,
he
not
snapped it
gonna
off
work.
and blocked. Engineered
Oh,
explosives
geez.
for 2.
Wow.
He's had that for the duration, most of the game there, and both Goyfs down.
Huh.
So we got a game here.
Yeah.
Both players, no cards in hand.
Yeah, one guy has a Raging Ravine, though.
Exactly, and Raging Ravine is going to start attacking.
4, down to 11. Search for
Well, we know
Tomorrow
exactly
kicks
what we're
down.
doing here. These are big draw steps for Junior Park. He finds a forest and passes the turn back.
He needs to top deck Escape Shift next turn.
Yes, he
That's
does.
the game. He's going to have the 7th land. He needs to top deck Escape Shift. There's nothing Andrew can do about it.
All right, activate, attack,
Other than
trigger.
this is the turn. It's got to be right here.
Oh, man, here we go.
Got to do it right here. Escape Shift wins the Grand Prix if it comes off the top of the deck. Cantrips might win the Grand Prix.
They could. He is going to
Because
have
he's going to have
extra
3
mana.
spare mana. Yeah, Andrew has no way to bust this up. Can Jung Park find Escape Shift right now? If he does, he's Grand Prix Minneapolis champion. If not, on to Game 3.
Probably. I mean, he could also draw any number.
Ravine's lethal.
Yeah, I mean, he could draw like another Snapcaster Mage to get around Liliana, for
Fair
example.
enough. Yeah, there are chump blockers. Well,
Yes.
Liliana can kill any chump blocker.
Well, Snapcaster Mage has Flash, so he can make him attack. He can plus it and then do it, and then he
Fair
doesn't
enough.
get to
What is it?
Liliana.
What is it?
What is it?
I
What did
didn't
you get,
see.
Jun Park? That's 3 mana he's got. It's a search for tomorrow.
That doesn't do it. Yeah, and both players see it. He's like, you're dead. What are you doing? Andrew Husk is picking up his cards because he's won.
Yeah.
3, 4,
Yeah,
5, 6.
okay.
Okay,
So
so
Young Park sees it. So on to Game 3. Head Judge Toby Elliott clocks him. Slow down. Don't scoop your cards up until your opponent acknowledges that you've won the game.
Oh man, I think
Okay,
Toby
no
almost had
problem.
a heart attack right there. He's like,
The
"Ah,
winning player picks up all his cards.
don't do that. Andrew says, I got to stop conceding here. All right, well, we're going to get a Game 3 here. This one's not done yet.
It was just the show. I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we can start picking
That's
up
a good game.
cards.
Yeah, Fulminator Mages did some serious work.
Absolutely.
Not that Jun Young Park found the Escape Shift anyway.
Right.
But I mean, we could see how Liliana plus the discard and the Fulminator Mages, he can just pinch him on total resources.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because Andrew does find a home, you know, for those like Inquisition to Kozilek's if he starts taking even the smallest of effects, something like a Serum Visions, just to try to keep Jun Young Park from digging through his deck to find the pieces.
True. We didn't see an Inquisition that game, right? I don't know if
He
they're in the main
he
or not.
discarded one to Liliana
Oh,
when
okay.
his
Okay.
opponent was hellbent.
So there are still in the deck. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I mean, with so many cards that are terrible to take out, having one which is nearly mediocre.
Yes.
Good enough. You're starting. You're in the deck.
I quite literally was lazy and forgot about it. And then it's like, the deadline passed, you can't get one. I was like, alright. I'll wear my hipster clothes again.
All right, so Game 3 here in Minneapolis. It's been a long road for both of these players. Not a matchup we expected to see here in the finals, but here we are, Jund versus Scapeshift.
Yeah. I mean, the field was the regular suspects. It was Affinity.
Yep.
It was Pod.
No, where else? Where else?
And there was some. It was Blue, White, Red. Those were the big 3.
Yep.
And there was playing a twin as well. Yeah. If you add all the twin decks together, they were 3rd, and Blue, White, Red was 4th. I mean, honestly, the most played deck at this tournament was Other.
Yeah.
Right? You look at
The beauty of Modern.
the beauty of Modern. Yes, it was funny. Decks that made up less than 4% of the field comprised 42% of the field.
I love that. I love that. I think
No,
that's
it
great.
is actually quite cool. So again,
By the way,
nothing hit 20%.
Are we ready to put
least not at the
put the
beginning.
gravestone on Zoo? Like, is it just not coming back? Is it not a real thing? I'm a little sad by that. I don't like to play it myself, but I like that it exists.
Pat Cox made top 16.
Okay.
Didn't he? Top 16, I think. I've got the
No,
standings
no,
around here
top
somewhere.
16.
The big ones. Like, there are more of them.
That would make me happy, though.
Top 32, 22nd. He was tied for 10th through 30th.
All right, so
Right in the middle of that
not
scrum.
dead yet.
I mean,
He's a top-tier Zoo player, so
No mics whatsoever on you.
No?
Right.
Okay, well, Canada's the
I think
He
it
can't
has
make
it
it.
has been demoted to Other. I mean, it's
Oh,
not good
man.
news when you get
Shame-
demoted to Other.
shameful. At least it's still around, I suppose.
Yeah.
Who do you like to win this thing?
I still like Jun Young Park.
Park?
You know, I think that Huska can win. He showed us right there. You
Yes.
know, a decent draw. He gets some disruption and a clock. But I mean, that was quite a good draw, right? He drew 2 of his 3 Fulminator Mages.
Yes.
He drew a Liliana. He drew 2 Tarmogoyfs.
The 2 Fulminator Mages were huge, too.
Yes.
It really is.
He drew, what, 2 discard spells as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that was quite a good draw from Andrew Huska.
Looks like he just peeled one here, too. I think he's going to start going to work on his hand almost immediately. Inquisition of Kozilek on the turn when you want it here.
Yes.
Telling Time, Remand, Obstinate Baloth.
Yeah, Inquisition on turn 1 is actively good.
Yes.
I mean, because you want to hit those 2-mana cantrips.
That's right. Probably just peels a Remand if he has any type of thing he wants to play next turn, a Bob or a Goyf or something.
I wouldn't be that surprised if he took Telling Time. I mean, it digs farther for Scape Shift, right?
It does. It's just that's so far away right now, right? Like, June Park, he needs all types of things to make that
no
happen.
Scape Shift
You were right, though. He took it. Curious to see what he has for turn 2 from Andrew Huska, because June's turn is pretty straightforward.
We also saw the Obstinate Baloth, so Liliana has been warned.
Indeed. And that's a big deal. Andrew Huska can just completely play around that. Though if it does blank Liliana, that's pretty nice. What, another one? Oh, another Inquisition here. That one's going to get remanded.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Assumption is that Andrew's going to be
better
able
than
to
having
replay
Telling
it.
Time happen as a response.
Right.
Yeah, no, he hasn't resolved yet. No. I know you're probably going to replay it again.
Yeah, I think Jun might be assuming the same thing that we were. But it's not. He's going to wait.
Well, there were no more. Wasn't he out of targets?
He got to draw a card with Remand.
Yeah, so now he's drawn 3 cards.
Agree.
See, when you start doing that math, it gets scary. You're terrified.
This is kind of one of the reasons to play Jund. You're not a terrible underdog against anybody.
Right.
You know, all these discard spells, they don't really care.
It's really hard to get way ahead of Jund. It's such a pain
Going
in that
creatureless
way.
helps, especially these Jund decks.
Good point.
I mean, a game 1 matchup, there's no way that Husk is even a 40%.
All right, he looks like he's going to get a repeal out of the deal here. 3 lands and an Obstinate Baloth left. Now you see Andrew's making sure to write down the lands as well. Sometimes it's just like land, but they really matter in this matchup.
Also, just knowing, right?
Exactly.
When he plays those lands, you can deduce whether you know his hand or not.
Exactly, and here's
wow,
Tarmogoyf.
and a Tarmogoyf, so he's got the clock.
It's a 2/3 right now, but I think we're just going to see a Baloth here, right?
Are there no lands yet? Is it only 2/3? Guess there's no lands yet.
Yeah.
Busted a sleeve, gonna replace that.
Yeah,
I think you just play Baloth, right?
I think you just play land Baloth and say go. I mean, I don't know what else he has.
He didn't have anything
it
one draw
scary.
phase ago.
It is very scary to let Liliana be that good, but
I mean,
with a grip of cards like Andrew has, it feels like he's just got a lot of options, and he knows the Baloth is there, so you're not getting it for free anyway.
Right.
Though Andrew has Liliana in his hand, so we could see Liliana win the Baloth fight again here, potentially. 2 for 2. And he's not going to do it, though. This doesn't mean that Andrew can't play Liliana. It just means that he can't plus Liliana.
Courser.
He's got a Courser of Crew Fix. Not the ideal card here, right? I don't think grinding against the Scape Shift deck is really the way to go.
Gaining life isn't irrelevant.
True. That's true.
I mean, the first life, it doesn't do anything, but like he hasn't cracked any fetch lands. He hasn't played any Thoughtseizes. He's actually on 20 life, which means Jun Park can't win on 7 land. Jun Park actually needs to go to 8 land in order to win versus an opponent above 18.
Which is a great point, Randy, because...
never mind.
Well...
Although, now Thoughtseize...
He just got him! Thoughtseize was only 1 target. He knew it was in his hand. Here's Liliana just to kill it. He must have just been okay with it.
Okay. Hilarious.
I mean, because Thoughtseize could have hit the unknown card, but...
Yeah, no, he figures, I'm going to end this Thoughtseize thing now.
Okay.
One way or the other. If he's got no other spells and I'm obliged to take it, fine, I'll just kill it with Liliana.
That is an unorthodox line from Andrew
I like
Huska,
it.
but
no, I think it's actually
look at his board state, yeah.
No, I mean, I don't think that was an accident. That was absolutely conscious decision.
True.
Going to Thoughtseize you, I'm probably going to put your Baloth into play, but then I can kill it with Liliana and start ticking up Liliana.
And his Tarmogoyf's bigger now, too, because now there's a creature in there.
Yeah, that's true, too.
It's just all upside. Somehow Thoughtseizing your opponent with only Baloth is just all upside.
Pretty funny.
I like it.
And he does go down to 18 from the Thoughtseize, but Courser can get him back up above 18.
And it's just that 1 life that's basically a full turn.
Yeah.
A whole land. It may be even more than a
Exactly.
turn. Yeah. And when you start adding in those Fulminator mages that will start showing up maybe randomly off of off the top of Andrew Huska's library, we're talking about major setbacks for Jun Young Park.
Wow, is Jund
Are we going to see Jund win this?
What do they need to ban next?
No kidding.
They better ban another Jund card. Jeez.
You know, if you base it just on our top 8, it certainly doesn't feel like anything needs to be banned, huh?
Yeah, sure, but
look, I'm limiting it to a very small sample.
I mean, the 24 decks that were in contention with 2 rounds to go had 10 pod decks.
Gulp.
Yeah, I mean, there were 5 or 6 pod mirrors played in the last 2 rounds with top 8 on the line.
So they're just cannibalizing each other all the way
kinda.
up.
I mean, to be fair, these other decks were also able to beat them. Like, but a totally format warping, even if they were able to warp to beat it.
Sure. All right, so Sakura Tribe Elder hits the battlefield for Junior Park after a pair of Serum Visions. He ships his turn back to Andrew. Andrew still has Liliana, but she's on 1 counter. So only either nothing or upwards to go. Andrew drew, well, a blank card. Basically a blank card. Actually, you know, this is kind of interesting. He drew Slaughter Pact here.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he can force June to use his Sakura Tribe Elder to force more damage through here.
He can also discard it to Liliana.
That's what I was thinking, but
like
I didn't notice though that there is actually something to do with it. But yeah, he's not going to. So he's going to ship Slaughter Pact, and an island hits the bin for Park. Now normally when you have Liliana, you're like, I got to land, fine, but those matter. Those absolutely matter in this matchup. And here's Liliana number 2. Legend Rule is going to say, I'm going to pick this one.
Yep.
And he's going to have him on 0 cards here, and in comes Tarmogoyf. I like it.
Discarding the Courser.
Andrew is really aggressive with the way he plays this deck, and I like it.
I mean, discarding the Courser is an enchantment for Tarmogoyf.
Yes.
Which is nice, but it means that he's going to be at 18. Like, that 1 point of life is pretty relevant.
But right now, Park is on virtually 6 lands on the battlefield and no cards in hand. So
yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, like, this is where it's going to get interesting.
He took Tarmogoyf?
He did. He's going to pressure Liliana here. Interesting. And play a land and say go. Couldn't quite see what Andrew drew for the turn. It's Dark Confidant.
You're right.
Start reloading. He's going to plus Liliana back up to 4.
Yeah, none of this 18-19 life.
And this is 6, right? Because there's a Liliana in the graveyard, as well as the enchantment from Courser.
Yes.
Wow.
Is that Scape Shift?
That is Scape Shift.
He did it.
Is that it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And Andrew's at exactly 18.
If he could have gained a life, he wouldn't. This would not be lethal. But he's at 18, not 19. That 1 point of life.
Did he just top deck Scape Shift and win this?
Yes.
Because he just used a Sakura Tribe Elder, so there was...
It's a hell of a top deck.
Wow.
Not many people top deck to win a Grand Prix from almost dead. Wow.
And that's going to do it. Junior Park is our champion.
Off the top.
It got so quiet down there, you know? It's just like, oh, here's Escape Shift. Does this tournament? Yes, it does.